Hey everyone, and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you my completion of the Harrowed Raid Gear set, my current preferred hard mode Kingsfall weapon loadout, and also a quick tip on how to get more glimmer while raiding. Now as you can see here, this is footage of my last hard mode raid where I got a pretty nice pull at the end for beating Oryx. In that loot drop, I actually happened to get the arms and the helmet for the Harrowed set. It also unlocked the Ascendant Plane shader from the shader kiosk. I really like the look of this shader, and it makes a lot of the other gear also look pretty incredible. I especially love the way it makes the Helm of Saint 14 look. I was pretty stoked to finish the set as it also let me get 315 light. Moving on to my preferred set of weapons, we start with the Hung Jury SR4. Now this is actually the stock Hung Jury, the one you can actually buy from the vendor. And it's got what I consider to be pretty nearly perfect perks for a scout rifle. The first perk is one of my absolute favorites, Triple Tap. You also have a choice between Extended Mag and Hand-Laid Stock. Now this is where things get really interesting. As you can see, with Hand-Laid Stock, the Hung Jury has nearly maximum stability, which feeds almost perfectly for Triple Tap. That, combined with Firefly, makes Hung Jury truly lethal and perfect against hordes of enemies like the Thrall. Now, you might be asking yourself why I don't prefer one of the actual raid weapons instead. Well, as I'm sure you've realized by now, you don't really fight a whole lot of Taken during the raid, so I'd rather focus on having more incredible perks and a better feeling weapon all around. And that leads into my special weapon of choice, the 1000-Yard Stare. This has higher impact than Defiance of Yasmin, and with some of the perks that this weapon has, there's almost no good reason to use Defiance of Yasmin. This particular 1000-Yard Stare, again, is the one you can buy from the vendor in the tower. The first perk is Triple Tap. You've also got Perfect Balance and Mulligan. Now again, with this weapon's high stability and the fact that you're probably going to be using it against a Major or Ultra, means this weapon might as well have a 5-round magazine. Now, my heavy weapon of choice used to be the Ruin Wake, but is now the Harrowed Quillem's Terminus. This weapon is an absolute beast, and it makes the most sense with the perks that it has. Now, I was lucky enough to score Extended Mag and Eye of the Storm, which means that this weapon becomes more accurate as your health gets lower. This gun is absolutely perfect for the teleport phase of the Oryx fight. Here's some video of the 1000-Yard Stare and the Quillem's Terminus. Now you might be asking yourself, why are all of my preferred weapons legendaries? Well, I really encourage everyone to find a set of legendary weapons that work really well for the raid, simply because that way you have the option to inject any of the exotic weapons you need for the particular situation. For example, if you're heavily reliant on Black Spindle as your main sniper rifle, but don't have a good legendary, what happens when you need to switch to Touch of Malice or Sleeper Simulant for a particular situation? By making sure you have absolutely awesome primary, special, and heavy legendary weapons, you'll never have to worry about being under-equipped. Now, moving on to a very quick pro tip. As I mentioned before, we fight a lot more Hive than we do Taken during the raid. And a lot of us have reduced our Destiny playtime to be mostly about raiding now. Because of this, I want you to consider the ghost you're taking into the raid. Now for this tip, it does require the Brave Shell, which is one of the Year 1 VIP rewards, but if you don't have that, that's totally okay. I'm sure you can find a ghost that matches these specs. And the perk that we're looking for is Cleansing Ritual. Gain additional glimmer while killing Hive. It seems really simple, but the Kingslayer Shell doesn't have this perk. And since you're fighting mostly the Hive during the raid, it only makes sense to have something that takes advantage of that situation, especially if you find yourself low on glimmer buying weapon parts and whatnot. Here's some footage showing you some of the glimmer that you can gain. You can easily gain anywhere from 2,500 to 3,000 glimmer per raid. And that's not too bad for passive glimmer farming. Drop a like if you can and subscribe for more Destiny content. And until next time, I'll see you guys Starside.